Tepic, Nayarit, México, para el partido número 6 de la segunda edición de la Copa Mundial Juvenil de Béisbol 5 de la Confederación Mundial de Béisbol y Softball entre la selección de Cuba y la selección de Kenia. Presentando al equipo visitante de la selección de Cuba, con el número 24, Kevin Hidalgo Gato Oramas. Con el número 13, Rafael Alejandro Socarrás Correa. Con el número 23, Carlos Alejandro Rivera Tamayo. Con el número 7, Rachel de la Caridad. Y presentando a los jueces de este partido, en home plate de Francia, Ludovic Melier. En primera base de México, Jesús Francisco Chávez Granados. En segunda base de Kenia, Brian Manyeki. En tercera base de México, Nakima Sinaí Mesa Villavencio. Y en table de México, Perla Alejandra Sarabia López. Damas y caballeros, por favor, los que estén en posibilidad de hacerlo, pongámonos de pie, quitémonos los sombreros y guardemos silencio para escuchar el himno nacional de Kenia. El himno nacional de Cuba. Y ahora escuchemos atentamente el himno de Kenia. Muchas gracias por su atención y es momento de comenzar el sexto juego entre la selección de Cuba y la selección de Kenia.
Bienvenido, welcome once again to Tepic in Nayarit in Mexico, the host city of the Youth WBSC Baseball5 World Cup. We just already have seen an incredible match today, the one that opened the action on field one between Japan and Turkey. Went all three sets. It saw comebacks, it saw close finishes in both sets 2 and 3, and ultimately it saw Japan win 2-1. Now we turn our attention to the next matter of the day here on field one. This a matchup between the defending champions in the Baseball5 World, Cuba, and their competitors from Kenya. There's a look at this year's Cuba squad. They'll have Hidalgo leading off. This is not the lineup, this is the full roster, but they'll have Hidalgo leading off. Socarras batting second, Rivera batting third, Medina batting fourth, and Diaz batting fifth. That's the entire team, though, and I'm sure we'll see all of those players at some point between the two sets. And then over on the Kenya side of it, their leadoff hitter today will be Peter Mwambo. After that, it will be Onsongo. Kaiga bats third, Opio bats fourth, and Mukoya will bat fifth for Kenya today. But again, expect to see all 8 of those players factoring in at some point in today's action. You know, what are the expectations for these two teams? They are probably a little bit different. I think in the case of Cuba, they are used to winning national championships. They are used to finishing on top of the Baseball5 World, whether that means at a World Cup, whether that means at a Senior World Cup or a Youth World Cup, but we'll see if Kenya can come up with some surprises. I think Kenya, if they're able to win a set from Cuba today, would really be doing something. But already you see how strong this Cuba team is as they raise their hands to call time. Already 2 runners aboard for Cuba. It was Hidalgo leading off, Socarras batting second, and now they'll turn it to Carlos Rivera. Rivera puts it in play, knocked down at third, throw to first, out there, a run will score. 1-0 Cuba as they take the lead. And that was a good play all around. Cuba the visitor, by the way. We play the rules the same in Baseball5 as regular baseball and softball in many respects in terms of the visitor batting first, the home team batting second. We play 3 outs in every inning, and there's the second, but another run does score as Cuba takes a 2-0 lead. Where things get a little bit different from baseball and softball, obviously 5 is the key number. We play 5 innings in each set. There are 5 players in each lineup. So the game moves much more quickly. The batting order rolls over much more quickly. Here's a ball bobbled at short, and that will allow the inning to continue. Amanda Diaz able to reach. So we go back to the top of the lineup just like that. 5 batters in, now number 6 here in the top of the first inning. That is leadoff man Kevin Hidalgo. Hidalgo, a hard hit ball. What a catch it short. Oh my goodness, the one hand snag. And that'll end a top half of the first inning that saw Kenya look really good defensively, but saw Cuba take a 2-0 lead. Happy to have you along with us. I'm Craig Durham. We've got Tony Alvarez providing the coverage on field 2. And we want to give you a note about how the coverage is going to work. We're happy to have you tuned in however you got here. Maybe you followed a link on Instagram, on TikTok, perhaps on the WBSC YouTube channel as they make the play at first does Cuba for the first out at the bottom of the first inning. So we are going to have a lot of streams, and I just want to let you know that there are multiple ways you can tune in. There is one stream that's going to run all day on each field. So, for example, if you're interested in the games that are taking place on field 1, you can pull up one stream, you follow that link, and you get all the field 1 coverage continuously throughout the day. Same story over on field 2. If the games that you want are on field 2, you can just let that stream run all day. Maybe take a walk in between games, have a snack. Who am I to tell you what to do with your free time? But that's one option. Otherwise, if you just want to watch a specific matchup, there will be a dedicated link to each and every game that gets played. So, multiple ways to watch us here on YouTube through the WBSC YouTube channel, and we're happy that you found us. And we hope to have you with us for all of the action through these 4 days. As we get a slip in the batter's box, tough break for Kenya because the slip forced the foot across the white line, and that's a no-no. So 2 outs, 2 on in the bottom of the first inning for Kenya. Trailing 2-0 already in the first. Line drive, great catch. That ball was hit pretty well by Valentine Mukoya, but she's retired. And that does it for Kenya in the first. Cuba coming back up with a 2-0 lead. They're going to have Socarras leading off. This is Rafael Socarras. And a good ball past the pitcher's position. And he's going to try to go to second. Now caught in a rundown. On the throw to first, he's able to take second. And that is where he will stay. An exciting play, good base running. And Cuba has the leadoff man, Socarras, in scoring position. Now it's Carlos Rivera. It is no surprise that Cuba finds itself atop the Baseball5 world champions at the senior level, champions at the youth level. The game really originated in Cuba and Latin America broadly, but Cuba specifically. Baseball5 truly is a variation on the Cuban game, Cuatro Esquinas. It was that game that prompted WBSC President Ricardo Fracari, who's in attendance today, by the way. You can see him in that wide shot, seated up on the red carpet in left center field. But his travels to Cuba and his love of baseball and softball, he saw Cuatro Esquinas being played, and he said, you know what, we can turn this into a World Cup level event. And off they went. The WBSC went about creating a rule book and creating tournament regulations, officials. They had to really build this game from scratch. It's happened in the course of about 10 years. It's really remarkable, not even 10 years, how far this game has come. And it continues to grow. I think the evidence was right in front of us in the first matchup of the day. That Turkey and Japan matchup, which was a very high-level Baseball5 game. And it just shows you how quickly this game has become a force in the baseball and softball world. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. You're seeing it played at a very high level, and right now you're seeing the originators of the game, Cuba, doing what they do, playing very well. And if you've seen it before, perhaps you're noticing, as I am and everybody here is, the continued evolution and growth of the game as it just keeps getting better and better. Cuba, meanwhile, already a 5-0 lead. That first touch for Kenya, it's tough, the way that the Cuban batters put so much spin on the ball, the way that they hit with such power. But they keep doing it year after year. They find a way to stay on top of the Baseball 5 world. Well-placed ball, third base side. A heavy collision at second base. Time will be called. And the player on the ground will be given a look. Brian Manyeki, the official from Kenya, nearby. He's the one who called time originally, and the training staff, medical staff will go out and have a look. This is a part of the game that's unavoidable, the incidental contact that occurs when a runner in a full sprint arrives at a base and collides with an offensive player. Typically, in a situation like this, the player who's on the receiving end of the collision doesn't stay down too long. It does take a little while, though, to get back up, as we do have the magic spray on hand to try and expedite recovery times. Spray being applied directly to the site of said collision. And with some help back to the feet, it looks like Cliff Apio is going to be okay. And he's going to stay in the game, and as is customary after those types of collisions, a handshake between the two players that collided with one another. And on we go. And Rachel Isaac. Safe at first to load up the bases. Amanda Diaz. Big spot here, 1 out, bases loaded. Cuba looking to open up a big lead in the second inning. Oh, and that's the kind of mistake that a Kenya team trying to pull off an upset has to avoid. You saw the body moving a little faster than the hands there. It's already 8-0. Hidalgo rips it up the middle to make it 9-0 Cuba. And there are some rules in place to keep a game from getting completely one-sided on the scoreboard. There's a 15-run ahead rule. If a team has a 15-run lead after 3 complete innings, then that team will win that game, or rather win that set and move on to the next one. If a team has a 10-run lead or more after 4 innings, that's also good enough to secure an early victory. I believe we actually had that rule come into play this morning over at Field 2 in the Chinese Taipei-Cuba matchup. Good play off the wall as Kenya gets the out at first to retire the side, but Cuba adding some more. They have a 9-0 lead after an inning and a half. We'll see if Kenya can answer in the bottom of the second. Off we go into the bottom of the second. Nice leadoff smack from Peter Mwambo. Mwambo aboard. The other officials out there with Brian Maniecki. We have Jesus Chavez from Mexico at first base. Ludovic Melier from France at home plate. Nakima Mesa from Mexico at third. And at the table, it's Perla Sarabia. And an even better start to the second inning than the first for Kenya, as they have runners on first and second with none out. Kaiga takes a look around. Looking to pick her spot. Good job keeping her feet. Ball bouncing around, throw coming home. Kenya's on the board. All right, 9-1 Kenya. Down by 8. But 3 straight hits to start the second inning. Still nobody out. Cliff Opio. Line drive, handled at second, throw to first a little bit wide, and that's going to allow another run to score. 2 in for Kenya. They get the force out at second, but the wide throw not only failed to turn the double play, but as it bounced away, it did allow that run to score. So there's 1 out. Force out at second there. Runner on first. And the ball pushed softly first base side. No time to hold on to it, but they get the out. 2 gone. Runner on second. If nothing else, the 2 runs from Kenya make it that much harder for Cuba to win it in shortened time, as we have a nasty slip coming out of the home plate square. And that's going to be a violation and an unfortunate situation here for the 3rd out of the inning. Yeah, everybody's goal at these tournaments is to avoid any kind of injury. And the Cuba team is showing their support for the Kenya player who is, at the moment, down and seems to be favoring his left leg. We'll step away for just a second and come back after the injury timeout with the top of the 3rd. This is the first day of the WBSC Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. Cuba leads Kenya 9-2 in the 3rd inning of the first set. Well, we didn't think it would take too long. It really didn't. We're back underway. A throw to first is not going to be quite in time. Cuba will look to reclaim a big lead. They have a comfortable lead at 7. See, the communication between officials and players is very important. Bases loaded now. And it's possible that Cuba could put together a very big inning. They would need to score 8 and then keep Kenya from scoring in the bottom of the 3rd to win this first set in just 3. Not likely, but possible, the way Cuba can sometimes go on a run and just keep going. They find the seams, they find a way, and they now are in double figures, a 10-2 lead. That's going to rattle around and allow 2 runs to score. 12 to Cuba. The lead is 10, and we told you they could easily get that 15-run lead. No matter how many runs they score here in the top of the third, we'll add this again. Kenya will bat in the bottom half of this third inning. It has to be 3 complete for the run rule to come into play. It's a tough way for the tournament to start, meanwhile, for Kenya to take on the defending champions many times over. Nobody's ever topped Cuba in a World Cup. There's an out. Runners move to second and third. Hidalgo is out. He did not clear the no-hit line. The unforced error. Four runs already in for Cuba, and that one caught. Kenya showing good hands. And they're able to limit the damage. Cuba with 2 in the first, 7 in the second. That was the big inning. 4 there in the third. Now Kenya coming to bat in the bottom half of this third inning. We will go to at least the 4th, if not the full 5 in this first set. Meanwhile, over on field 2, there is another thriller shaping up. That one between Korea and Spain. Spain won the first set, Korea won the second, and it is 3-2 Korea in the bottom of the 4th of set 3. So that is pretty cool. And again, you can find that with the Field 2 all-day stream, or find that specific game. And some substitutions here for Cuba as they send in Ariana La Olivert along with Adis Espinel. I think that's all in terms of the changes. Espinel getting stretched out over at third base. Onsongo, meanwhile, getting the ball to start the bottom of the third for Kenya. And despite the speed and the hustle, he's out at first by a half a step. That brings up Yvonne. Time called because she had a shoelace that needed to be tied. Good catch there. Again, player safety is on everybody's minds. And it's going to be a one-out single there for Yvonne. Well-placed ball. Now Cliff. Oh, they call that foul. That looked really close. That call made immediately there. Let's see if we can get another look at that one. From where I'm sitting, that ball looked fair. But Cliff out on the foul ball. That brings up Valentin Mukoya. That ball was foul, and that is going to be 3 outs in the third. And so Cuba coming up in the fourth. They already have the 10-run lead. They'll look to add on. This could be a 4-inning first set. And again, Cuba going to the bench, putting in some substitutions. Feeling confident with the 11-run lead, 13-2. Oh, what a great effort, but then the play made. From the pitcher's spot over to third, Valentine, the strong throw. And here is Aris Espinel. The traditional red and blues for a Cuban national team in the baseball, softball world. And really all the sports world, as there's 2 balls in play and 2 quick outs. Great defense from Kenya, wearing the white tops with the red shorts, a little bit of red trim on the jerseys. And a fly ball that's caught. And that retires the side. How about it? Cuba down in order in the top of the fourth. And if Kenya can score 2 runs here in the bottom of the fourth inning, they will force a 5th. Otherwise, set 1 is going to go to Cuba. Ground ball short. In time. All kinds of commotion, meanwhile, over on field 2. That third set going to the 5th inning. Spain now leads Korea 4-3. Samuel Onsongo did not get it past the no-hit zone line. So there are 2 outs, and this could be it. Again, Kenya needs to score twice, otherwise Cuba will win by virtue of the 10-run rule, a lead of 10 or larger after 4 complete. They're up by 11. It's been a tough out today. Throw to first, not gonna get it done, not quite yet. Will this be the ball that ends the first set? Yes, it will. There was a slip there at the front of the square, and that does it. Cuba has won the first set 13-2 in 4 innings. Because of the 10-run rule, this first set is over, and it's time to hit the reset button. We'll take a short break and come back with the second set. First match for these 2 teams. Cuba has a 1-0 lead. And we are ready to begin again as we welcome you back to Field 1 here in Tepic. It is Cuba with a 1-0 lead over Kenya in the first game for each of these two teams at this Baseball 5 World Cup. And Kenya winning the first one 13-2. They have the leadoff runner aboard to begin the second. Yandro Morasen did not play in the first game. And he's on first in his first turn as a batter here in the second set. Bouncing ball right side, a little bit of a fumble there. And Cuba, to nobody's surprise, has taken a lead here to start the second set, 1-0. Nice play over at first. They get Espinal and call time. That's why you see the players, after making a defensive play, immediately raise their hands. Because once the umpires recognize that signal and recognize the timeout call, then everybody else has to stop running. Oh, a tough break there for Kenya. Looked like they had a chance for the second out. Can't get it done. This is again set 2. If Cuba's able to win this one, there will be no set 3. Cuba will have their first win of the tournament under their belt. Out at second, really nice play. This is a fundamentally sound Kenya team. And they're frustrated that the time calls are not being recognized. That one looked fairly clear. I wonder if we can get a replay to see where the frustration's coming from for Kenya. Nice interaction there as they talked it over. Mexico is about to play its first game of the tournament. And you hear the crowd over on field 2 making noise to support the Mexico national team. The official opening ceremony of this tournament will be tonight. And Mexico will play on field 1 under the lights. As a nice catch is made at third. Cuba out of luck after scoring 3 in the top of the first inning. Tonight's opening ceremony scheduled for 8 o'clock local time, with the game scheduled for 9. It's going to be a late night here in Tepic. And Mexico taking on one of the most exciting stories of the tournament. Team representing Syria, a team of refugees that will be playing under the lights as well after the opening ceremony. The other post-opening ceremony game will feature Cuba. They'll take on Spain over on field 2. Tony Alvarez will have the coverage there. And then the action resumes tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., Puerto Rico and France. Tough start to the tournament for Puerto Rico. They were handled by Chinese Taipei. We are yet to see France, but they are lined up to take on Chinese Taipei in what promises to be a good one this afternoon. This pesky Kenya team not going quietly in any inning. Oh, hard fall coming out of the box. And yet it is still going to be a hit. That is something that we got to keep our eye on. We've seen a number of players go down in that spot. Amazing that she was able, Valentine, to pop up and not only be okay, but actually wind up with a hit there. You do have to be careful depending on what type of sneakers you're wearing. Not to slip and slide at the front end of that batter's box. A run across for Kenya. 3-1 the score in the first inning. Both teams lighten it up in the first inning. Here's Bevior Oriambo. Oriambo going to bring a run home. She's out at first. But the run in, and it is 3-2. What an answer from Kenya. There's another slip. And the out that ends the inning. Good job by Kenya, though, answering Cuba's 3 with 2 of their own. We'll move to the second inning. Cuba 3, Kenya 2. Really well-placed ball to start the inning. Maris Espinel, after being retired her first time up, able to reach. Perhaps you're following along with the box score on WBSC.org. Really lightning fast coverage. And an out call is made here. The batter left the box before the ball was in play. And that's a great call there by the official, not allowing a running start, which some of these teams, they try to do. But right there, it was close, but it was the right call. Got to stay in the box until the ball clears out. Back to Carlos Rivera. Rivera, strong line drive on the right side. If you're Kenyan, you're, just getting to this tournament, getting started against Cuba, you have to feel great about the way it's gone so far. Yeah, you wanted to win that first set, obviously, but it's really not easy to beat Cuba, even in a set. It's really hard to ever even have a lead. Sometimes it's hard, depending on the year, depending on the tournament, to keep Cuba from winning every game by virtue of the run-ahead rule, which they did, but really by a slim margin. It's time called. After the run scored to make it 5-2 Cuba, it was only and I say only, but really it is something, only an 11-run victory for Cuba in the first set. Really good get defensively, but trouble controlling the throw at first, and that allows 2 more to score. Cuba with a 7-2 lead. And a beautiful afternoon, we should add. We're under the tent, but the sides are exposed. We've got the fresh air. You can see the trees from Parque La Loma. The site here in El Centro de Tepic. And that's a ball where Kenya just had multiple opportunities to get it out at first base and couldn't quite get it done. Cannot afford to give this Cuba team any free outs. And that's what just happened there as the lead goes up to 5. Hard line drive up the middle, out at second base. A lot of good things happened on that play. First of all, that was a great ball, because sometimes when you hit it on a line that far, it becomes an out. It hits the wall or it goes over, but it dropped in just the right spot. Kenya never quit on it, and a good stretch from second base to get the force out. So really, A lot to be happy about from both sides there, as Cuba's going to go up by 6 on the line drive base hit. And now Isaac. With 2 on and 2 outs. She'll pop a line drive that hops over the wall on 1 bounce. That's allowed. You can't hit it over the wall on a fly. The runners will have to return to the bases they were, to where they were. And that ball went out, so it's bases loaded instead of another run scoring. Brian Maniecki does well to retrieve it and send it back towards home plate. That one short of the line, and that'll do it for Cuba. In the top of the second, they add 5. They lead by 6 with Kenya coming up. Already back at it, and already a fine defensive play made by Cuba. Good job with the footwork in the batter's square, but another nice play at short. Might be time to try a different part of the infield. Cuba looking for a 3-ball inning. What a play from deep behind third base. It is indeed just 3 up, 3 down on 3 swings of the arm. And we'll go to the third, Cuba with an 8-2 lead. The first ever edition of the Baseball5 World Cup was in Mexico City in El Zocalo. The second edition of the senior level Baseball5 World Cup took place last year in Hong Kong, China. Back in Mexico for the second youth edition of the Baseball5 World Cup here in Tepic, the capital of Nayarit. The venues may change, the cities, the countries, the states. But one thing has remained the same. Cuba finds itself atop the standings at the end of every Baseball5 World Cup. To this point, there will come a day where that changes. Make no mistake, that will change. And this umpiring crew, this officiating crew, has been a little tardy in recognizing the timeouts. I mean, that one right there, that absolutely looked like it should have been called. The out at first, the arms go up, there was a runner on second, and the officials did not recognize the timeout call. That one right there, they might have missed. I mean, I just don't see why you don't recognize that call there. And a line drive here is going to allow Cuba to score. The difference between the timeout call and the no timeout call is that the runner would have still been at second. And it is a judgment call. And one of the best things about Baseball 5 is that there's not a lot of arguing that happens between the coaches and officials. There actually was quite a bit from the Turkey team in the Turkey matchup a short while ago against Japan, which Japan won in 3 sets in a real thriller. But boy, after every close call, it felt like a timeout, and the Turkey coaching staff had something to say. You're not going to see that from most teams. Just 1 run in for Cuba so far here in the inning, and that's all it'll be. Out the call, and 9-2. Cuba with a 7-run lead after 2.5. Kenya is coming up. They scored 2 in the first, did not score in the second. They'll look to get back on the board here in the third. You know, it's never an easy play in Baseball 5. It might look like, okay, this is a fun game, this is a youth game, anybody can just walk onto a court and play it, but then you try and you realize just how hard it is to field the ball defensively. You immediately recognize that these are elite athletes with elite hand-eye coordination. Another aspect is the power generated from the batters. You think, okay, there's nobody stopping me. I don't have to deal with the pitcher. You know, there's no fastballs, there's no curveballs. Shouldn't be too hard. And then you try to generate the power. And it is incredibly difficult to generate much power as a hitter. It's all about the lower body. It's about the footwork. It's about the torque. It's about bringing the hips across your body as we have, and out there as Peter Mwambo bounces it foul, and so 3 innings have come and gone. That was back-to-back 3-ball innings. Kenya unable to get anything past this Cuban defense. And we'll move into the top of the 4th. Again, with the 10-run rule kind of hanging around us, Cuba could score 3 here and then keep Kenya off the board in the bottom half of the inning and win the match in straight sets. Very much a possibility. And they will have the leadoff runner on base. That one took a tough skip past Valentine at third. That's another thing that these players do. They put spin on the ball. So even if you're well positioned, sometimes that first bounce can send the ball someplace where you're not. Nice play there. The tag. Oh, a drop at first. Otherwise, would have been a double play. That's a really tough break for Kenya. A run scores. Cuba now leads 10-2. Instead of 9-2 with 2 outs, it's 10-2 with 1 out and a runner on first. The magic number right now for Cuba is 2 more. Get that 10-point lead. Not going to happen there. Not going to happen this inning. This one's going to go the distance as Kenya holds Cuba to just 1 run for a second consecutive inning. And it is 10-2 with Kenya coming up at the bottom of the 4th when we return. Really nice way to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning for Kenya's Valentine. A leadoff base runner. Out at second, but that play a little slow developing. So no double play there. People slipping and sliding on both ends of that play. First coming out of the box and then before getting up to make the throw. But in the end, it just winds up being a ground out to third. Bevior retired. Here's Ida. Nice catch over at third base. So we'll go to the fifth. Cuba is 1 inning away from making it a straight set sweep of a Kenya national team that has shown the ability to, at the very least, hang with Cuba, which should bode well. Their chances to find some wins in this tournament. It's a tightly packed schedule with games happening all day long right now. We've got Lithuania and Mexico over on field 2, and it looks like Lithuania has gotten off to a fast start. They lead the first set. After that, it'll be Syria and Tunisia on field 2. Following the conclusion of this one, the next game on field 1 will be between Chinese Taipei and France. That'll get started at 3 o'clock local time, about an hour and a half from now. At 6 o'clock local time, Tunisia and Lithuania here on field 1. I think another one of the marquee matchups taking place later today, Venezuela and Japan. Those are two teams that you can usually expect to finish around the top of the tournament standings at a Baseball 5 World Cup. Truly at any World Cup, baseball, softball, or Baseball 5. And then the opening ceremony, 8 p.m. local time tonight with the 9 o'clock late night start. Spain and Cuba on field 2, Syria and Mexico on field 1. It will be a late night here at Parque La Loma in Tepic. Cuba so far in this inning has added 1, but again, it doesn't matter. They can score 10 and Kenya will still come up to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. I don't expect that, especially given the way that Kenya has looked really good so far today. They get the out at first base, 2 gone, run scores, 12-2. Did notice that it looks like the entire Cuba team, maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, wearing the exact same footwear. Could be why they're having a little easier time in that home plate square. They might have brought the right shoes to Tepic. These courts are very durable. They're designed to take a lot of wear and tear, game after game, day after day. We get a pop fly here, caught behind second base. That does it for Cuba's top of the 5th. Hey, Kenya, they need 10. They have already proven that they can hang. Will they pull off a remarkable comeback here in the bottom of the 5th inning? We'll find out very shortly. A 1 hopper to short. That's the thing, just don't expect Cuba to make any mistakes. You have to go out and beat them. They will not beat themselves. No reason to be hanging heads, though, here if you're Kenya. Their next matchup will come against Korea on field 1 here at about 4:30 local time. About 3 hours from now. Three o'clock, France and Chinese Taipei, hour and a half from now. That's when I'll be back with you. Field 1 will be afforded a moment to breathe between now and then. And Songo able to extend the game to at least one more batter. 12-2, bottom 5. Bevior. She plays first base for Kenya. Oh, she bounces that one short. And that will do it. Cuba, a 4-inning victory in set 1. They win 12-2 in set 5, and they take care of business to the defending world champions, starting the tournament 1-0. Kenya, meanwhile, 0-1, but they'll get their next chance not long from now. In 3 hours, they take on Korea. In the meantime, we invite you to turn your attention over to field 2, where Lithuania leads Mexico in the first set of their matchup. But again, I'll be back with you here at field 1 in an hour and a half. We see France and Chinese Taipei, 2 of the top teams in the tournament, squaring off with one another. Thanks for being with us for this one. Congratulations to Cuba and Kenya. Hope you're enjoying the WBSC Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. We will talk to you soon.